Life, friends, John Berryman reminds us in one of his dream songs, is boring. Life, friends, is boring. We must not say so, he goes on to tell us, perhaps aware of that other evergreen adage, laugh and the world laughs with you, weep and you probably do that on a sparsely frequented YouTube channel or to your therapist. After all, the sky flashes, the great sea yearns, we ourselves flash and yearn. And moreover, my mother told me as a boy repeatedly, ever to confess you're bored means you have no inner resources. Well, I conclude now that I have no inner resources because I am heavy bored, ADHD. Peoples bore me, literature bores me, especially great literature. The idiot bores me with his plights and gripes as bad as Achilles, who loves people and valiant art, which bores me, or Berryman, I mean this is the poem, right? And the tranquil hills and gin look like a drag, and somehow a dog has taken itself and its tail considerably away into mountains or sea or sky, leaving behind me wag. Boredom, of course, is a wholly insufficient term to describe that sort of suicidal ideation that sometimes nips at our heels. Oh well, and as well as should. What's the point? Terminate, terminate. If we have no use for a consumer item, we throw it away. Why should our minds not apply the same rule to our own flesh and blood doldrums? Pessoa, Fernando Pessoa, I think captures the feeling better with his term for quotidian blues, which is Tedium, or in English, Tedium. Let me read some of Pessoa for you, riffing on clouds. This is fragment 204. Clouds, I question myself and don't know me. Nothing I've done has been useful and nothing I do will be any different. I've wasted part of my life in confusedly interpreting nothing at all and the rest of it in writing these verses in prose for my incommunicable sensations, which is how I make the unknown universe mine. I'm objectively and subjectively sick of myself. I'm sick of everything and of the everythingness of everything. Clouds. They're everything, disintegrated fragments of atmosphere, the only real things today between the worthless earth and the non-existent sky, indescribable tatters of the tedium I ascribe to them, mist condensed into colourless threats, dirty wads of cotton from a hospital without walls. Clouds, they like me, a ravaged passage between sky and earth, at the mercy of an invisible impulse, thundering or not thundering, whitely giving joy or blackly spreading gloom, stray fictions in the gap, far from the earth's noise but without the sky's peace. Clouds, they continue to pass, passing always, they will always continue in a discontinuous rolling of dull-coloured skeins, in a scattered prolongation of false, broken sky. I'm objectively and subjectively sick of myself. I'm sick of everything and of the everythingness of everything. Clouds. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Objectively rather than subjectively. What I find to be the most startling about the depressive pull and drain of tedium is just how delulu the experience of this mindset ultimately is. Delulu, in case you didn't know this, I didn't know this until today, is a slang term derived from the word delusional, originating from the K-pop fan community about 10 years ago. Says my teleprompter, and now often used on social media to describe someone who holds unrealistic or overly idealistic beliefs or fantasies, especially about their favorite celebrities or influencers. So you're bored? Well, change the channel, you delulu idiot. You might decide to write in the comments or indeed follow yourself. The word was selected by Collins Dictionary as part of their Word of the Year publicity stunt. It's happening today, you might have seen. Other words that have seared themselves into the zeitgeist in 2024 include brainrot, era, looks-maxing, rawdogging, anti-tourism, romantasy, supermajority, yapping, and brat. Brat being the official Collins word of the year because, well, that's what we've all become, haven't we? A supermajority of brats, stuffing every orifice, physical and metaphysical, with content so as not to, or so as to perhaps even numb the cognitive dissonance of our wholly unsustainable human aspirations and lifestyles. We might even say that this piece of content I'm generating right here is in fact totally on point, in that I'm just another Gen X delulu brat, lost in romantasy, yapping on about the tedium of life as a form of anti-tourism while hoping to create a supermajority of idiots on YouTube who, like me, in look-smacking desperation, will feed on just about anything to numb the void or else raw-dog themselves painfully but necessarily away from my brain rot, only to be caught downstream in someone else's delulu tedium, captured in 4K on their iPhone 16 Pro. And even more frustratingly, everything I've uttered thus far is also, of course, bona fide delulu, only in as much as when the tedium of whatever Groundhog Day you're experiencing is portrayed, let's say, on a screen to someone with their own form of tedium or even genuine hardship, I can fully take on board how your perspective as to the content of my day might look, well, a little bit like a sort of joyful doddle. And why should it not? I am not sewing limbs back onto shattered bodies in a war zone. No. It's wake up, doom scroll, get out of bed, do some yoga with Max, immersion in cold water for a few minutes, eat porridge oats, drink green tea, this one, consult the Yi, write something, take Max for a walk around the block, see a few patients, walk Max to the park, let him have a run whilst, I don't know, listening to an audiobook, see a few more people, get stoned, eat, read, watch YouTube, listen to an audiobook, and then go to sleep. Blissful. If you have the right cocktail of neurochemicals flowing through your brain circuits. And if not, well, you, which is to say the idiot, probably only has himself to blame. So what does the Yi say to this form of tedium? I'm getting a lot of usage at the moment out of this this baby. And while I should, this was a very, very expensive piece of clay. Okay, let's get some going. Okay, it is hexagram 62, preponderance of the small. Thunder over mountain. It's almost the thunder, it's kind of a FOMO thunder in a way, isn't it? Because it's like this fear of missing out. It's like, if I can't get any more out of a day than this, oh no, thunder, thunder. Mountain keeps still. What's the judgment? Preponderance of the small. Success. Perseverance furthers. Small things may be done. Great things should not be done. Small videos may be made. Great videos should not be made. The flying bird brings the message. It is not well to strive upward. It is well to remain below. Great good fortune. What's my initial reading of that? It's sort of... It's okay to be where you are. Ultimately. As long as in that being where you are willing to accept that Things are small. Things are diminished. Things are withdrawn.
Awesome. I'm gonna do my song now.
Okay, yeah.
I'm everywhere, I'm so